Celtic music is a broad grouping of music genres that evolved out of the folk music traditions of the Celtic people of Western Europe. It refers to both orally transmitted traditional music and recorded music, and the styles vary considerably to include everything from trad music to a wide range of hybrids. Description and definition. Celtic music means two things mainly. First, it is the music of the peoples identifying themselves as Celts. Secondly, it refers to whatever qualities may be unique to the musics of the Celtic nations. Many notable Celtic musicians such as Alan Stivell and Paddy Maloney claim that the different Celtic musics have much in common. These common melodic practices may be used widely across Celtic music. It is common for the melodic line to move up and down the primary chords in many Celtic songs. There are a number of possible reasons for this. Melodic variation can be easily introduced. Melodic variation is widely used in Celtic music, especially by the pipes and harp. It is easier to anticipate the direction that the melody will take, so that harmony, either composed or improvised, can be introduced. Cliched cadences that are essential for impromptu harmony are also more easily formed. The relatively wider tonal intervals in some songs make it possible for stress accents within the poetic line to be more in keeping with the local Celtic accent across just one Celtic group. By more than one Celtic language population belonging to different Celtic groups. These two latter usage patterns may simply be remnants of formerly widespread melodic practices. Often, the term Celtic music is applied to the music of Ireland and Scotland because both lands have produced well-known distinctive styles which actually have genuine commonality and clear mutual influences. The definition is further complicated by the fact that Irish independence has allowed Ireland to promote Celtic music as a specifically Irish product. However, these are modern geographical references to a people who share a common Celtic ancestry and consequently, a common musical heritage. These styles are known because of the importance of Irish and Scottish people in the English-speaking world, especially in the United States, where they had a profound impact on American music, particularly bluegrass and country music. The music of Wales, Cornwall, the Isle of Man, Brittany, Galicia, Cantabria, and Asturias and Portugal are also considered Celtic music, the tradition being particularly strong in Brittany, where Celtic festivals large and small take place throughout the year, and in Wales, where the ancient Eisteddfod tradition has been revived and flourishes. Additionally, the musics of ethnically Celtic peoples abroad are vibrant, especially in Canada and the United States. In Canada, the provinces of Atlantic Canada are known for being a home of Celtic music, most notably on the islands of Newfoundland, Cape Breton and Prince Edward Island. The traditional music of Atlantic Canada is heavily influenced by the Irish, Scottish and Acadian ethnic makeup of much of the region's communities. In some parts of Atlantic Canada, such as Newfoundland, Celtic music is more popular than in the Old Country. Further, some older forms of Celtic music that are rare in Scotland and Ireland today, such as the practice of accompanying a fiddle with a piano, or the Gaelic spinning songs of Cape Breton, remain common in the Maritimes. Much of the music of this region is Celtic in nature, but originates in the local area and celebrates the seafaring, fishing and other primary industries. Divisions. In Celtic music, a complete guide, June Skinner Sawyers acknowledges 6 Celtic nationalities divided into 2 groups according to the linguistic heritage. The Q Celtic nationalities are the Irish, Scottish and Manx peoples, while the P Celtic groups are the Cornish, Bretons and Welsh peoples. Musician Alan Stivell uses a similar dichotomy between the Gaelic and the Brythonic branches, which differentiate mostly mostly by the extended range of Irish and Scottish melodies and the closed range of Breton and Welsh melodies, and by the frequent use of the pure pentatonic scale in Gaelic music. There is also tremendous variation between Celtic regions. Ireland, Scotland, Brittany and Wales have living traditions of language and music, and there has been a recent major revival of interest in Celtic heritage in Cornwall and the Isle of Man. Galicia has a Celtic language revival movement to revive the Celtic Gaelic language used into Roman times. Most of the Iberian Peninsula had a similar Celtic language in pre-Roman times. A Brythonic language was used in parts of Galicia and Asturias into early medieval times, brought by Britons fleeing the Anglo-Saxon invasions via Brittany. The Romance language currently spoken in Galicia, Galician, is closely related to the Portuguese language used mainly in Brazil and Portugal. Galician music is claimed to be Celtic. The same is true of the music of Asturias, Cantabria, and that of northern Portugal. Breton artist Alan Stivell was one of the earliest musicians to use the word Celtic and Celtia in his marketing materials, starting in the early 1960s as part of the worldwide folk music revival of that era, with the term quickly catching on with other artists worldwide. Today, the genre is well established and incredibly diverse forms. There are musical genres and styles specific to each Celtic country, due in part to the influence of individual song traditions and the characteristics of specific languages. Celtic traditional music, strathspeys are specific to Highland Scotland, for example, and it has been hypothesized that they mimic the rhythms of the Scottish Gaelic language. Reels, pibroch, Cerdd Dantacanú Panillion is the art of vocal improvisation over a given melody in Welsh musical tradition. It is an important competition in eisteddfodau. The singer choir sings a counter-melody over a harp melody. Walking song, Pure Buell, Can Hardiscan, Sean Knows song, Celtic hip-hop, Celtic rock, Celtic metal, Celtic punk, Celtic fusion. Festivals. See List of Celtic festivals for a more complete list of Celtic festivals by country, including music festivals. Festivals focused largely or partly on Celtic music can be found at category Celtic music festivals. The modern Celtic music scene involves a large number of music festivals, as it has traditionally. Some of the most prominent festivals focused solely on music include Festival International de Mundo Celta de Ortigueira, Festival Interceltico de Avilés, Folix and a Primavera, Festival Celta International Rhino de Leon, Festival International de Música Celta de Collado Villalba, YN Cruina, Celtic Connections, Hebridean Celtic Festival, Fleet Ceol na Éireann, Festival Interceltico de Sendim, Galacophilia, Festival Folk Celta Punta Barca, Douro Celtic Fest, Festival Interceltic de Lorient, Festival del Can Arbobel, Festival de Cornouaille, Les Nuits Celtiques du Stade de France, Montelago Celtic Night, Triskel International Celtic Festival, Festival Celtique de Quebec et Quebec City Celtic Festival, Festival Mémoire et Racines, Celtic Colors, Pagan Fest, Celtic Fusion, the oldest musical tradition which fits under the label of Celtic fusion, originated in the rural American South in the early colonial period and incorporated Scottish, Scots-Irish, Irish, Welsh, English, and African influences, variously referred to as roots music, American folk music, or old-time music. This tradition has exerted a strong influence on all forms forms of American music, including country, blues, and rock and roll, in addition to its lasting effects on other genres. It marked the first modern large-scale mixing of musical traditions from multiple ethnic and religious communities within the Celtic diaspora. In the 1960s, several bands put forward modern adaptations of Celtic music, pulling influences from several of the Celtic nations at once to create a modern pan-Celtic sound. A few of those include Bagadoo, Fairport Convention, Pentangle, Steeleye Span and Horselips. In the 1970s, Clannad made the mark initially in the folk and traditional scene, and then subsequently went on to bridge the gap between traditional Celtic and pop music in the 1980s and 1990s, incorporating elements from New Age, smooth jazz, and folk rock. Traces of Clannad's legacy can be heard in the music of many artists, including Enya, Donna Taggart, Alton, Capercaillie, The Cause, Lorena McKennitt, Inuna, Riverdance and U2. The solo music of Clannad's lead singer, Moya Brennan, has further enhanced this influence. Later, beginning in 1982 with the Pogues' invention of Celtic folk punk and Stockton's wing blend of Irish traditional and pop, rock and reggae, there has been a movement to incorporate Celtic influences into other genres of music. Bands like Flogging Molly, Black 47, Dropkick Murphys, The Young Dubliners, The Tosses introduced a hybrid of Celtic rock, punk, reggae, hardcore and other elements in the 1990s that has become popular with Irish-American youth. Today there are Celtic-influenced subgenres of virtually every type of popular music, including electronica, rock, metal, punk, hip-hop, reggae, new age, Latin, Andean and pop. Collectively, these modern interpretations of Celtic music are sometimes referred to as Celtic fusion. Other modern adaptations, outside of America, the first deliberate attempts to create a pan-Celtic music, were made by the Breton Tal Diafrenu, having translated songs from Ireland, Scotland, and Wales into Breton between the two world wars. One of his major works was to bring NWLADFY back in Brittany and create lyrics in Breton. Eventually this song became Brogos Virginia Zadu, and is the most widely accepted Breton anthem. In the 70s, the Breton Alan Coachevelu began playing a mixed repertoire from the main Celtic countries on the Celtic harp his father created. Probably the most successful all-inclusive Celtic music composition in recent years is Sean Davis' composition, The Pilgrim. This suite depicts the journey of St. Columcille through the Celtic nations of Ireland, Scotland, the Isle of Man, Wales, Cornwall, Brittany and Galicia. The suite, which includes a Scottish pipe band, Irish and Welsh harpists, Galician gaiters, Irish Julian pipes, the Bombards of Brittany, two vocal soloists and a narrator, is set against a background of a classical orchestra and a large choir. Modern music may also be termed Celtic because it is written and recorded in a Celtic language, regardless of musical style. Many of the Celtic languages have experienced resurgences in modern years, spurred on partly by the action of artists and musicians who have embraced them as hallmarks of identity and distinctness. In 1971, the Irish band Skara Brae recorded its only LP, All Songs in Irish. In 1978, Runrig recorded an album in Scottish Gaelic. In 1992, Capercaillie recorded A Prince Among Islands, the first Scottish Gaelic language record to reach the UK Top 40. In 1996, a song in Breton represented France in the 41st Eurovision Song Contest, the first time in history that France had a song without a word in French. Since about 2005, Oi Polloi have recorded in Scottish Gaelic. Huile recorded in the language in 2004. Several contemporary bands have Welsh-language songs, such as Ceridwen, which fuses traditional instruments with trip-hop beats, the Superfurry Animals, Fernhill, and so on. The same phenomenon occurs in Brittany, where many singers record songs in Breton, traditional or modern.